You've found Tend the Flame, a podcast full of fireside conversations to bring warmth and inspiration, slowing us down to the speed of the soul. I'm your guide, Kate Breton, and I'm so glad you found us here. This podcast was previously known only as Rebirth, and then, as any creative impetus does, she went from the spark of birth to the ignition of a fire that tends our warmth and carries us forward. This solo episode is a small weekly inspiration. We talk about the difficulty or the distinction of the necessary hard and the unnecessary, giving you a practice for the week, a small dose, a little bit of firewood to carry you through. Thank you so much for finding us here. If you find benefit from this episode, as always, we like to spread the warmth. Forward it to a friend, share it on your social, give us a 5-star review on the Apple Podcasts, because that which we enjoy, we have the ability to amplify. Thanks for being here. I was recently thinking about the differentiation of hard, and there's a lot of messaging about easy, and here's the deal. There's never one answer for everything, and I often talk about what phase or season are you in, because that can give the answer. I've been listening to the Basic Bee podcast about SEO, and she was saying, the more you know where you're trying to go, your vision, the easier it is to find SEO, because you know who you're talking to and who you want to find you. And that, my friend, is the perspective I want to talk to you about, the necessary hard. Some of us have been raised with this idea that if we're not working hard, we're not doing it. Some of us are raised with the idea or the concept that it should be easy. And somewhere between the two of those is the truth. And so instead of me telling you which is which for you, because I don't know, I don't know what it is for you. And in some places it might be that it should be easy and you're making it more difficult. And in some places you're expecting something to be easy that needs your will and needs your effort. So I want to ask you this week, as you're moving through your week, is it the necessary hard? Like, are you doing the necessary hard thing, or are you using all of that extra effort making things more difficult than they should be? No, I know. So, for example, if we have difficulty stating what we need or saying what we want, that's the hard thing. And so we're actually making it more difficult to get where we want to go. But go is an easy catch-all phrase. That going could be, we're making it more difficult to eat the food we want to eat, be in a relationship. Or it's when I say be in a relationship, also, can we expand that conversation right now outside of the singular definition of a romantic relationship? Those are important and necessary to a well-lived life. But what phase are you in and what are you needing? And is that the relationship? You could have your primary partner relationship be something that's great. And it could be a relationship with a child or a coworker. So when we talk about healthy relationships, I just want to expand that out. So where do you want to go in your health, your relationship, your finances? Because that can give you the choice of doing things. Are you doing the necessary hard? And sometimes for women, I watch them say, "Oh no, no, not me, not me." And it's like, that is creating an unnecessary hard, right? Because you're like, "Oh, I wouldn't dream of inconveniencing you," when actually that person has a need and that life is giving them a response to meet it, and they're saying no, which is a double-mindedness from that which is coming forward, which is creating an unnecessary hard. Don't do the unnecessary hard. Everything can be the right thing in context. It's sort of like this quote from Rilke. I just love Rilke. There is much beauty here because there is much beauty everywhere. There is much beauty here because there is much beauty everywhere. Beauty doesn't necessitate on one constraint. Hard doesn't have one definition. It can be very hard for people to receive their greatest desire. It can be very hard for people to open up their hearts to love. Again, not one type of love, to love, to receiving support that exceeds previous expectations. That can be hard. Working to soften that capacity is a good thing to put your time to. It is unnecessary for us to struggle for our basic divine rights of enjoying our life. Enjoying our life is just like beauty. The possibility of enjoyment is here because it is everywhere. So as you journey through your week, just see, are your shoulders scrunched up? Are you getting confused? You got a squint in your face? Is that unnecessary hard? What do I want? What do I want? I've watched people not be able to pick something off of the menu at a restaurant that they've been to before. So I know it can be difficult for people to articulate and receive what they want. But this week, let's work at not making that be hard. Let's practice it being easy to say the hard things to ourselves. This is what I want. This is what I need. I can deserve this. And let the unnecessary hards, the high-pitched for females, that high-pitched, I could never push this away, unnecessary hard. It is not necessary to make life more difficult. In fact, we could use our effort to let go, to soften, which can be hard. It can be hard to soften. That is a good use of will, to release it and to open to the inner capacity that you were born with. There is beauty here because there is beauty everywhere. Thanks for tuning in. It is important, that simple choice to press play, to tend your own flame, that these episodes hopefully give a upliftment, some kindling, and you take them onto the fire of your life and the fire of your day and warm yourself and remind yourself of the beauty of the elements of your life, the necessity for your place here, and that the whisperings of your heart that you might find so difficult to say out loud have a very necessary place, and in the right timing, you will voice them. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in to the podcast. If you want to learn more about contemplating the year or the upcoming offerings, hop on over to katebrenton.com. You can hop on the newsletter or see where I write at Substack, katebrenton@substack.com. Thanks for being here. See you back here next week.